So yeah,
But they insure themselves in every other manner of their life, their car insurance, their freaking medical insurance and everything, but they won't prepare for the, you know?
yeah. Well, the medical insurance, they're laughing their way to the bank. You know why, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to cover
No.
the people who've went with the experiment. They're not paying out.
No.
It doesn't matter whether you die now or in 20 years, they won't pay it out. It's in their fine print.
Yep.
I guess mentioned to a friend of mine, and he right away went to ask, and he goes, "You're right, they won't cover." I go, "What do you think? They're stupid? You commit suicide, they're going to cover?
Totally exempt.
Not going to cover." So they just laughing their way to the bank or wherever they're putting their money. Geez, it's fasting. Fasting will bring clarity. Fasting will give you vision. Fasting will connect you to divine source if you are open to that. Just because you fast does not mean you will be
No way.
open to divine source. You must be open to it within the heart.
Yep.
And it will be there for you. Its answers are always in plain sight for us. Like we said, we don't have all the answers, but your soul does. Once you connect, your soul will give you all the answers you need. And that's what we'll love to focus on, because there's that's the number one thing, the divine source of everything. It's where every single aspect of all creation comes from, and how it all started and all that, it's irrelevant, doesn't matter. The intellect wants to know all these things, and that's the trap, using the intellect to do anything. And that's where I got myself in trouble, using the intellect. When I put my ego aside for a bit and said, "Okay, I'm done with this freaking intellect stuff. Let me just, trust, and let's see what happens." And that era really changed. We see that, what's happened with people who put that trust in their soul. When you're putting your trust in your soul, you're putting the trust in divine creator, source. And there's nothing going to match that. We can debate it all we want. I ain't up for debate. You either believe it or you don't. There's no reason to debate it. We have to convince you there's a intelligence, divine source behind every aspect of life and non-life. Then you should do some research, because you can't escape the intelligence behind everything around us, in nature and in the universe, and so on and so forth. All the planets, everything we look at. Just look at a blade of grass. It's just put it under a microscope, and you'll be amazed. Anything is the intricacies of the depth of creation is infinite. You'll never see. You'll never be able to find anything with a microscope that will give you the answers that you believe you're looking for. Those answers are within, and you don't need any material things. You don't need a microscope. You just have to go within and trust, and the answers will show up. Like there's so many examples of people connecting to source. And I'd love to talk about the herbology, the herbs. How did they come up with all these remedies? What herbs were good for? You think they just did trials and stuff like that? There was some of that in the I think it was the Chinese dynasty. I can't remember the name. Ming Dynasty. They used prisoners to experiment with in all different herbology and stuff like that. And a lot of them didn't make it because they would use toxic plants. But that went on for thousands of years, that dynasty, I guess. And hello, Elaine. And that's not where true herbology came from. The true herbology came from the seekers of people, wanting to know, going within and communicating with the plants. We've discussed this before. That's where the true power, the knowledge comes from herbology. The stuff that we've come about recently about herbs with the microscopes and all that stuff is so limited in its understanding, in its understanding. It's very, very limited. They're looking at chemical aspects, and that's where you're going to get yourself in trouble. Look at the, what do you call it? The pharmaceutical industry. What do? They use their microscopes, they go into nature, and then they extract properties that they believe are doing the work and so on and so forth. And they're called drugs. And look what drugs have done to this planet in the last 100 years. Was it the fourth leading cause of death are drugs. Third are doctors who prescribe them.
You know what the leading cause of death is?
Stupidity.
Abortion,
Abortion. Wow. That's number one.
number one.
Wow. That's
That shows you where we're at.
that's the real war. That's the real war. Convincing people that these lives are worth nothing and they can eliminate them. It's all murder, no matter how you look at it. You know, if you know, if we get the ingredients that they use that they're giving people on the masses right now, if we get those ingredients and put them in a glass of water and give them to somebody, and these people and the person dies, what happens? They're going to charge you with murder, right? Murder. They will charge you with murder because the ingredients they're toxic. So this is happening on a mass scale, and people are just keeping their eyes and mouths closed. It's just like incredible. Like can't, I don't know. I just, unto the divine, just give us strength and vision to see what's going on, because we need it now more than ever. I don't know how much more simply we can put it. It's going to be an interesting time in the next year or two of what's going to unfold. I don't want to go into that area, but get ready, be ready. If you're not ready, now's a good time. Now is a good time.
Time for that is getting short.
Yeah. So you made more planting room?
You did?
Awesome. And this is somebody who's eating less. Imagine that. Imagine that. How many more people you can help?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. This is what it's all about, being in service to others. And as little as we can, to help somebody, that this goes a long way. No matter what, we can always help somebody in need. My cousin.
Yeah, I'm pretty much back on track. Everything now. This week was really good.
Awesome.
Monday ready for the fast, no problem.
Yeah, my cousin was sharing a story of an elderly woman who had a druggie show up at her door that overdosed, and she stayed home to try and help this person. She stayed home from work, and she couldn't meet her rent payment because of that, and the person ended up dying from the overdose. So he was asking if anybody can help the woman cover her rent, and this is what I'm talking about, And we got that pastor out in Alberta who's been feeding the homeless and drug addicts and so on and so forth for 20 years, and the government's been on his case, bringing them to court over and over and over. And again, they're having, they arrested him and took him away like the lowest of the lowest criminals, dragging him on his knees in the middle of a highway.
Yeah, I saw the video.
This is absolutely insanity. Where are we? Where have we gone? This is where humanity's gone. Praying to God is a criminal offense now. And man, if we don't wake up from this, we're in for a horrific ride. It's if that's a crime, praying to God, which is even in our Constitution, is the source, the top. It's in the Constitution up here and in the States, right? God's supreme. If they do not hold up to that, what do we have in power there? We have tyrants.
There's no rule of law anywhere left on the planet.
Oh man, we gotta really wake up, folks. We're in very difficult times because what?
They emasculated the men of the world. So
yeah, it's become medical tyranny. Medical tyranny, hand in hand. These medical goons are not even elected up here. I don't know how it works down there, but they're not even elected, they're appointed. Yeah. And they're dictating to, what everybody is doing and saying or whatever. It's just crazy.
Fauci's been in that job for 1981, I believe, if I was 81 or 84.
Absolute insanity. This should never be allowed to happen.
No,
So it's up to us, the people, to
see, they
make,
gave for here in the States, and I'm sure it's the same up there, they allowed the so-called middle class to have so much. So that would keep them placated, give them their 2 weeks vacation and
yeah.
pay the bills and everybody's happy, right?
We've talked about this.
Nobody makes any waves. Everybody was making waves. People were making waves, but they was tamped down.
Divide and conquer is the name of the game. And it's
That was
happening.
the end game for sure.
Yeah. It's happening again. This whole past year, and now again now in what's happening in the Palestine and so on and so forth. This is divide and conquer.
Yep.
This is the name of their game, and everybody.
That is deep state.
Yep. And the masses.
What's going on in Palestine, that is the deep state of the planet, right there.
So fast, go within, connect to divine source. You're going to find your answers. They're very simply in front of your eyes. If you pay attention, they're there. I don't know how much more clear we can make it. It's not rocket science here. It's nobody needs any degrees, and it's usually the ones with the degrees that have the most challenges seeing anything, because they have that veil of all the degrees in front of them, and that's what they're judging things through that stuff that they've been indoctrinated with. Remove those veils and connect to source. Elaine, I've been feeling pretty sad this week. Both of my children are planning on getting vaccinated. They're concerned about not being able to do things. Well, that's the fear. They're using fear, right? With everybody. And that's how they get us. They divide us and they will conquer us through the fear. And that's what I've heard that excuse a million times. Oh, I can't travel. I need to travel. Okay, go. You're going to risk your life to go travel. How ludicrous is that? Go for it. If that's what you want to do, no big deal. Everybody has free will to do as they choose, but do a little bit of research before you do things blindly. And then, because don't come back crying when things don't turn out the way you planned. You really need to do your research. As I've just mentioned earlier about if you put that stuff in a glass and give it to somebody, you'll be charged with murder. I can guarantee you. You'll be charged with murder. But these ones that are pumping out this stuff are immune. They are immune to it, not through divine source. You can't be immune to that. You will have to pay the price through order, through divine order. There's no escaping that. But in this material realm, some people decided to give these corporations blanket immunity on these things, and that's the problem. That's a big problem. That's a big red flag on if you haven't waken up to it. It's boy. I don't know. We're well over a year, well over, and people are waking up on a very slow pace, very slow pace. I wish there was a way to get the information into people so they can understand it clearly. And but fear is controlling everyone, and we know what that does. They've done tests where you put people in fear for 30 days to 60 days, and they will do anything. That's the stages we are at on a global scale. So just think about it. Just feeding information 24/7, and putting people in this fear, and they will do anything. They will just literally do anything without question. And we've seen the history that this took place, and still we are blind to it. So yeah, it's a difficult time, Elaine. If you can't get common sense through people, like insurance companies won't cover you. It's not been approved by anything. It's only for emergency use, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you can't put that simple logic information through to people, there's no hope. And everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen, even though we don't have an understanding about it. wasn't supposed to be, it would not happen. So everything that's going on now is for lessons for everyone. And so there's going to be some deep lessons from, from a lot of us, for what's been happening and what's going on and what's going to happen in the next couple of years from now, because it's challenging. Like if you go and talk to people, it's just like there's no reasoning. There's no reasoning at all. And like I said, it doesn't matter how many degrees people have. That doesn't have any correlation to me about intelligence, divine intelligence. I'm talking about, not paper smart intelligence, book smart intelligence. I'm talking about divine intelligence. If you look at some of these wonderful spiritual gurus and teachers, and you listen, the wisdom that comes through some of these people, it's just incredible. And these are simple people without all the degrees. Some of them have got some degrees and so on and so forth, but that wisdom does not come from the degrees. It comes from trusting in source and connecting to that divine information, which we all have. We all have. We all know killing is wrong. We don't need to be schooled on that. We know it's wrong. So, right now is the time where humanity should stand up for what's happening in the Middle East and say, that's enough. We've had enough. Stop. And the first ones that should be doing that is the ones with holding the guns and the triggers. These are the ones that say, we've had enough. We can't do this anymore. We're done with this.
Yeah.
That's where it needs to start. So how do we do that? Well, it's not going to be through the words through our mouth. It's not going to happen. It's just like talking to people about giving them educated to take this thing or not take this thing. So how do we get through to this? Well, we do it through the fields. We do it through the fields. Whether you believe it or not, or understand it or not, it doesn't matter. When you start doing it, you fake it till you make it, and it still works. This is the wonders of meditation and prayer. You just do it. Even though you don't believe in it, it still works. They've done tests and trials on this stuff where they had people meditate and pray, even though they didn't believe it, and it still worked. How amazing is the divine? It's because we all have the default set within us to connect through these ways. And you don't need to go to school to know how to pray. You just do it, even though you don't believe it. And if you believe it, even better. More power to it. The more field strength, the more power. So connect. Get in your fasting state several times a week if you can. And if you're just starting off, start off on a couple of days a week, and move on from there. If it's too much, 2 days, start on 1 day, and get it into your consciousness that you love fasting, even though you don't like it. Keep saying to yourself, you love it, and believe you me, it's gonna start manifesting and expressing itself. It's like when I started on herbs many years ago and the bitter stuff and everything, and I just said, you know what, I love this stuff. I love this stuff. And I've seen it happen with other people. First they say that tastes horrible, and then it grows on them, and they start loving the taste of all the different flavors of the herbs, all the bitterness and so on and so forth. It's just the way it is, because guess why? It's because we're connecting through the spirit of these plants. And connecting to the spirit of these plants, we're connecting to the divine source. So that's why we're big advocates of herbs. It's something that I see how it helps people dramatically. Connecting with the herbs, they help us so much through the emotion, and work its way through the physicality. What do we say? Save your money when you're eating. Focus on when you're in a fasting state. Get the biggest bang for your buck. If you want to do when you're eating, do the hybrid at least, so you have the majority of the day in a fasting window. This is the simplicity. It's not rocket science. Using herbs all these years, and then prior to this understanding coming through, I was on and off herbs a lot, and I would stop them because they stopped working. You'd get some benefit for a while, and then so I was going in and out of herbology over all these decades, and I didn't really have the understanding until that information came through. Well, you got to do it in a fasting state. What are you doing when you're what are you eating for? Eating and healing do not belong in the same sentence. Remember that one? So why do you take herbs when you're eating? Well, blah, 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 because these guys are saying, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, believe them. We've seen a dramatic difference night and day, taking herbs when you're eating versus when you're in a fasting state. So what do you want to do? You want to take them and get little rewards, or you want to get massive major rewards? I say do it in a fasting state. And it's going to cost you a lot less too. People complain about the price of this, that, and the other thing. Meanwhile, they have internet. They go buy wheels on their car they don't need. They go into travel places that is bringing, I don't know what to them, some little temporary joy, whatever. Nothing wrong with traveling, but they're spending money on things they don't need, and so on and so forth. But they complain about spending money on what do you call it? Like making a deposit in the bank for your health. And this is a fasting lifestyle. You're making deposits. So the body has the preparedness and the wisdom and the cleanliness to be able to deal with any situation that comes at us. For example, a pandemic. So your system functions, and it will not have a problem being able to get through these difficult the situations and times. There's so much, and it's so little we need to do. We stop doing everything. Right? Can't get any more simple than that. So yeah, it's been quite a several weeks here that have gone by. 45 days I was for the most part dry. In the last few days I've been eating a little bit, getting ready mentally and psychologically to get back on, because there's just no comparison. Way more energy, way more strength, way more clarity, and just eating small meals, here and there. It's just the way it is. But we love eating, but we love fasting way more. The eating experience, there's no denying, we all love it, but it's short-lived, and things we have to go through for the body to process everything is quite revealing when you're living a fasting lifestyle. That's for sure. It's going to give you a lot of lessons that you never knew would be possible, because you've never fasted before. It only starts opening up when your senses open up. So this is where we have to be thankful. I've seen people complain about they're too sensitive. I've seen that over and over and over again, because they just not grasping the understanding and taking it on as a lifestyle. That's where the complaints will come through from. When you've grasped that little bit of understanding, that's saying, yes, this is a lifestyle, and I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to learn from all the different experiences that are being expressed through this lifestyle, because I have faith in my soul and divine creator. And when we do that, then you're going to see everything changes. Everything will change. Are you going to fall? Yeah, we're going to fall. We're humans. We're not perfect. And it's okay. That's why we're here supporting each other every week on the page every day, because we need all the support we can get now more than ever, is what I see. So many people are in putting themselves in deep trouble over and over and over again, crying for help, but doing the same thing over and over and over again, not making the changes. I don't know what else we can do for these people.
That's
We're
right.
here for support and they don't show up. What can we do? I don't know. I just send
Nothing.
them plath, elevate their souls.
Pray.
We're
Pray with
here,
them.
we're here for support. You know, we can get out our hands if they don't grab them. I don't know. Elaine, how you feeling? Everything okay? Difficult times, challenging times. Yes, but how are we doing with the fasting? We got a little bit of delay with Facebook for 15-20 seconds or something. I don't know what it is. I guess they do that if they don't like what we say and cut you off or something. I don't know. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's a beautiful world if we are open and ready for that. It's right around the corner. It really is. It's just let's move in that direction. So simple. So simple. I hope people are outside enjoying the weather because connecting with nature is awesome. We can't get enough of that. Everything is okay. I'm feeling sad, maybe releasing, getting prepared for full moon, dry, awesome. Yeah, we're gonna go through all kinds of emotions, Lane, and we know that it's all okay. Let it be expressed and jump for joy. Even in these difficult times, we need to jump for joy. You know, the amount of muscles used to create a sad face versus a happy face is like night and day. You need way less muscles to be a happy state than you do to be in a sad state. Just think about that. So, well, if we're doing the path of least resistance, going with everybody in these states, it's actually the opposite. It's more resistance, and we've been duped to believe it's the path of least resistance. So smile. Keep a smile on your face as much as you possibly can. Fake it till you make it. Even if you have to fake it, it affects us psychologically to have a smile on our face. It's contagious to see people smiling. But what do? They rob that from us too. Everybody's wearing friggin' diapers on their faces. You can't even see people smiling. It's just like
They relaxed the orders here on Wednesday.
yeah, over here they're going more strict.
Yeah. So I went into 2 stores Wednesday. I had to get a couple of things, something for the garden and something else. I forgot what it was.
So you don't have to wear it no more.
Yeah, so no mask going in the store. I was the only one in the stores, both stores, that did not have a mask on.
Yeah, I know. You're still gonna see that for a while.
Damn.
Yeah. And we've said that way back. We were talking about that. When they stop it, people are gonna still wear it because there's so much fear. So much fear.
Well, it's only for the vaccinated that can supposedly take their masks off. It's just insanity. Total freaking insanity. They're prepping you for the goddamn what do they call it? The pass thing or whatever it is, the papers, basically.
Oh, yeah.
They're prepping us for papers, absolutely. Because now that they're relaxing everything, you're gonna see a flare up and then they're gonna demand everybody show proof of vaccination.
But there was a hearing down there about all the deaths and so on and so forth that's been happening.
Yeah.
And the was it OSHA that said that the corporations will be liable if they force people to get it. Did you see that one?
No.
See, these stuff is they're not going to put on mainstream, that's for sure. So there's good stuff happening, folks. There's good stuff happening all around. You gotta know what to sort out and how to look for it. It's not going to be on mainstream. Mainstream, stay away from it all. The good thing about mainstream is you know that whatever they're saying is bullcrap. That's the good thing about it.
Yeah.
So you know that 100% everything they say is bullcrap, you know? So that's a good gauge. That's all we can use it for. Zendan, I don't know how to pronounce that. Florida is a mask free. Yeah, we know that at least Jacksonville. Yeah, but I heard even there people are still wearing them. Thank God for good stuff. Yeah. You're welcome, Elaine. It's difficult times for a lot of us because it doesn't stop here. We all have families, friends, co-workers, etc., and we're not going to get through to everybody. We're just not. When you hear that the close one went to go do their crap, it's sad because it's if nothing happens now, it looks fine, but in the animal studies, all animals died in 2 years. All of them. The ones that looked like they were doing great, all of a sudden, boom, they just started dropping dead. And they couldn't figure out what happened, but the immune system couldn't handle it, overreacted. I don't know what exactly happened. The way they interpret it and all that doesn't mean anything to me. But can anything be done for the people who have went down that route? Absolutely. You believe them that nothing can be changed when you do that? Then you don't understand divine creator. Divine creator will forgive you. But what? You need to do some work. If it is to be, it's up to me. And I'm sorry to say, but for those who have chosen that route, you're going to have to do a lot of work to dig that stuff out of you. You're going to have to do a lot of work. And everything's possible. Everything is possible. I have absolutely no doubt in divine creator being able to work miracles through the soul, because we've seen it so many times. We've seen it so many times. So, well, how can you have any doubt? Well, people still have doubt, even though they see it with their own eyes. We still get being questioned and debated and criticized, even though you guys have all shown that, been massive has. We still get that because it is what it is. You're always going to have that. So I really appreciate your optimism, Gino. Come on, Elaine, think about where you came from. Think about where you came from.
Lest we forget.
Yeah, it's easy to forget. And I look back and I remember what I went through when I was in agonizing pain in bed and so on and so forth. My goodness gracious. You have to consciously put an effort to think about all the things that happened, because it's easy to forget when you're free of pain. When you're living in a pain-free state, pain-free, you don't even want to go there, right? Because you don't, but it's good to take a trip down memory lane to be thankful, be grateful and thankful for those lessons that got you to where you are today. And we can help some other people that want to be helped, because if they don't want to be helped, then they're not going to do anything. And that's the challenge that I've had in the last 3+ decades is people say, yeah, and it's all talk. People lie to themselves all the time. We all lie to ourselves. We all make excuses in that. And so we got to step up to the plate of peace, balance, correct conduct. And one of that is stop lying to ourselves and take a good look in our eyes in the mirror and have a good talk with ourselves and look up to and be thankful and grateful to the divine creator, and take a new route in our lives and stand up for truth in every part as best we possibly can, do everything we possibly can to support those in need, and move on. And I don't know what else. I quickly get sore, swollen legs if I eat too much, so I never forget. Awesome. There you go. Your senses are working. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? The senses are like myself. Oh yeah, I feel it right away if I eat a little bit too much obstructive stuff. Wow. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Cut back. fast. Simple, do it over and over and over again. Somebody shared a video today on that pastor who eats every 3 days. He started 1 day a week and started expanding. So what's that? That's doing the levels. So it's very relevant to master fasting, right? You start on level 1 and move to level 2 and so on and so forth. It's a beautiful way to do it. You got to discipline yourself. It's just going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging. And with challenges come great rewards, always. More challenges, the more the rewards. So let's embrace. Oh, and breath holds greatly reduced as well. Right? Isn't that amazing, Elaine, how when you pay attention to things on food, when you eat, you need to breathe more. How simple of a revelation is that? Do we need to have a degree to understand that? Do we need a degree? No. The body needs to work more when you eat. Too difficult. You got to have a bunch of letters behind the name, right, Steve? To be able to interpret it. And all these tests and the microscopes and all that. Yeah. It's amazing how much longer you can hold your breath in a fasting state and how much more energy we have. David, I shared that. David, you're on. Yeah. Sorry, it seemed there started heated debate about the guy. Somebody's debating about it. I haven't went back on there. People can debate all they want. The truth will always try and be debated, but it can never be won over because it always will win. The truth will always win. There is no overcoming truth. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time before the truth prevails.
That was Muhammad Elijah he was talking about, right?
I don't remember. Anyway, is that what they were debating about? The guy?
Quite a controversial figure.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
listen to the message. That's the reason why I share. But everybody has to point fingers because
Exactly.
they are sinless and perfect, right? So they point fingers.
Yeah.
Let the first one without sin, throw a stone. Was the saying something like that? This is we go through this over and over in our lives. I'll be the first one to stand and say I have the most work to do. So, and I'll continue doing work.
Yeah, Louis Farrakhan, but Elijah was Farrakhan's mentor.
Mary, sorry?
Talking about Louis Farrakhan, Nation of Islam. Muhammad Elijah was the founder of the Nation of Islam. And Louis Farrakhan is his protege.
It's hard for me to understand your voice. You got your mic on?
I do. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's got this echo. The echo.
Thought I got rid of that by getting a new mic. Guess not, huh?
Well, we got to make sure it's connected. Sometimes it'll go reset itself in Zoom to another mic or your computer mic, camera mic or whatever. Apparently anti-Semitic. The pastor as far can go.
How about now?
I think it's better.
Set to the freaking computer mic. Damn thing.
It changed?
Yeah, it changed.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to check. Like it happens to me too. You don't have to do anything. It does it on its own. It's especially when you do updates and stuff like that.
Well, it's connected to the camera, part of the camera.
Yeah, much better. Say that again.
I said Louis Farrakhan. I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
The Nation of Islam. Muhammad Elijah was the founder of the Nation of Islam. And Farrakhan is his protege. That's who David was referencing.
David, which, to be honest, I had to Google to make sure I know what that means. Yeah, well, you know, people have been debating divide and conquer about religions for thousands of years. And, you know, we can go to many places on the planet and we can see people with from all different forms of religion living in harmony. What gets in the way of that is the propaganda. Everybody's praying to the same God. Which road do you want to take? Do you want to take this road, that road, that road? Choose your road. And you know, we can all get along, or we can be fooled into getting into debates and divide us, just like what's been happening with this last year plus 1 year with it's been dividing people, and with everything else they do, all the propaganda that's been put up, it's always to divide us, always. And it's crazy. Hi, John.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, you?
Excellent. Hi,
Awesome.
Rana. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
Just a little bit of everything, you know. It's, there's a video posted of a guy, a preacher, talking about eating every 3 days, and you know how you need to be disciplined and so on and so forth. He started, you know, it's telling people start on 1 day and slowly move your way up, and you know, those are the levels we're talking about. And then David, who shared a video, saying there's a debate there, which I haven't looked at it for a few hours.
I didn't look at it either. John probably knows. There's Muhammad Elijah.
Muhammad Elijah?
Yeah. You know who he is, right?
Is he from New York?
Nation of Islam.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know who those people are. I don't really follow them,
No, I don't either. I just I'm aware of it.
but I know that
Louis Farrakhan.
is it like an evangelical approach to
Oh, no,
fasting?
these guys are they're not evangelical at all. They're radical.
Yeah, I know those. Yeah, you can't talk to them, you know, unless you buy their baked goods. They don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
They have bake sales, like they do.
Nation of Islam? I don't think they have.
There's they have, like where I live in Oakland,
Really?
they have like their own, they have a bakery.
Really?
And I think there was a big scandal there way back in, like, you know, the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, this goes, you know, Elijah's been dead a long time though.
Yeah, I know. Like
About 30
that
years.
sounded like a historical figure,
Yeah.
but like, was he in the same era as Malcolm X? Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
In history of, and we're going to find extremists in all the different religions and all the different, and the Buddhists and what do they do that they take they ride the wave of these religions to, you know, put the name to them, so they put bad names to all these different organizations and groups and so on and so forth. There's extremists in everything. So you know, it's this is divide and conquer again. It's all this propaganda that keeps showing up and keeps dividing us. It's just crazy. And then, you know, people will put blankets across certain religions or whatever. It's been happening since the beginning of time, you know, 5,000 plus religions. So embrace wherever you can to connect to divine source, no matter what ride you want to choose. If it rings true in your heart, embrace it, no matter what.
Yeah, it's interesting because like, you know, what you guys do and what I'm aspiring to do, it's super, it's very, you know, it is difficult for the average person to experience that. And maybe I mentioned this the last time I was on, I can't remember. But I read an interesting quote, and it essentially, I think I told you guys this, but it essentially said that organized religion and codified religion develop because people cannot tolerate the direct presence of God. It's too much for them. So what they do is they intellectualize it, and they turn it into a codified set of rules, and you know, where you have like the real core of all the great religions is like people fasting and meditating. I mean, if you follow it back enough, and like the average person, especially now, I mean, imagine it's like, you know, you have all this stuff with you know, every time you push the like button on Facebook, you're stimulating what's it called? Dopamine, you know. I mean, that's just a chemical name, but our brains are being, everyone knows this by now, right? It's just like,
Not everyone, but a lot of people, because it's
yeah, like dopamine, like the way dopamine and caffeine interact. I've been watching some videos, and I watched a video, and the guy, what inspired me to quit caffeine. So today is day 6 with no black tea. And I swear, man, it's like, I feel great. I can feel like a really gentle, subtle energy that like I don't normally feel when I'm drinking black tea.
A lot of caffeine.
Yeah. And like, to be honest, like I drink a,
I think it's more than coffee.
Yeah, it is.
well, the way they make coffee though, the way they make coffee now, it's like, it's insane. Like if you take okay, well, just to break it down, like if you take a bag of Lipton tea and you make a cup of black tea, there's like 40 milligrams of caffeine. But the average person who drinks like Peet's coffee and Starbucks coffee, they're taking in like 300 to 600 milligrams per day.
It's crazy.
It's just like, and like you wonder why we're having trouble, you know?
Took me 3 days
So
when I quit coffee for the headaches and stuff.
yeah, but the thing about, I mean, just like from a chemical point of view, like
Yeah.
the coffee also contains all these other alkaloids that are really mess up your body, and tea actually buffers out caffeine itself. So you have a much more balanced situation with tea. And like I feel that, like I just feel that in my body. But I don't drink coffee, but like coffee drinkers, man, they have a really hard time quitting caffeine. But anyway, like that's like my big news. I feel really good. And you
Yeah,
know,
well,
huh?
all the stimulations, John, is they all will affect us. And, you know, we're talking about anything that you ingest as a stimulant. Doesn't matter. There's different levels. Like we use the level of obstructiveness, because everything has an effect. So
You
when
said
you,
wheat does? You're talking about wheat?
no, everything has an effect. And
Oh, I thought you said wheat.
everything we ingest, anything
Yeah,
we,
yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, man.
yeah.
It's
So, you know, the high stimulants, you're going to feel more, you know, and so on and so forth. But, you know, the high obstructive foods, they're stimulants. They're all stimulants. You know, even fruit has a stimulating property, but it's low, very, very low compared to anything else. It's the lowest, depending on the fruit. You know, some fruits have less than other fruits, but the blanket of fruits is the majority of them are on the low end, very low. So, Once we eliminate all that, living a fasting lifestyle, regularly fasting, everything's going to change. You're gonna really have an understanding of, wow, yep, everything's a stimulant. Doesn't matter what I ingest.
Yeah, man.
So,
And most behaviors too, you know, most of our behaviors are just like you do things because you can't, it's kind of like you can't tolerate just being in yourself, you know, and like getting out of your own way. So like you do all this stuff, you know, it's just like our whole society. And it's, you know, it's not everybody can just sit around and meditate. It's good that we have that, but anyway, caffeine, I feel really good, and it's day 6, so I'm just not looking back.
yeah, meditation and prayer takes discipline, right? How many people have discipline in today's age?
Yeah.
They have discipline eating.
Hey, you want to see what I have tonight for my
Unconscious stuff.
I have a little show and tell. I have a little cocktail here. You see here?
Yeah.
This is
Great.
stinging nettle, strange stinging nettle juice. Fresh from I did a fire clearing up in Wildcat Canyon by my home, and it's literally Wildcat Canyon. There are mountain lions there, and it's stinging nettle season. So we were harvesting after the job. We harvested some.
Is that pure juice?
Yeah, it's no, it's I added water, but I strained it off, and it's just really fresh stinging nettle and water without the pulp. And it wasn't done in Vitamix or anything. It was just a regular blender, but it tastes pretty good. So it's like free food. It's like right up the street from where I live.
Oh, yeah, I love stinging nettle.
Yeah.
Awesome. Eat the leaves, put them in your mouth, and watch for the sting.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I've never tried that, but I juice them, you know.
You can grab it from the bottom of the leaf, and you roll it, and you don't touch your lips with it, and put it in your mouth, and you won't feel it. If you feel any sting in the mouth, it goes away very quickly.
Yeah, like the first time I made one a couple nights ago, I ate a little bit of the pulp, and I felt like it irritated my throat just a tiny bit.
I've eaten tons of it raw, cooked. Put it,
Yeah.
put it in teas. I still have a dried one from last year. I'm still using, but it's also in the kidney tea as well.
Yeah, yeah, nettles.
I
Yeah,
love.
you can buy, like we can buy where I live, we can buy culinary stinging nettles, and they're really nice. They're super succulent and like
Oh yeah,
they're
especially when
very,
they come up.
huh?
When they just come up.
Well, yeah, but I mean they cultivate them somehow because like big boxes of them come in. I don't know. I think I'm trying. Oh no, I'm thinking of purslane. Grows very nicely symbiotically with at the vineyards with grapes. So like if you're walking through the vineyards and you look down, have you ever seen purslane growing?
Yeah, it grows in our backyard.
Yeah, it's like it grows laterally like that, and it's like, and for some reason I think it's like the grape plants like it, the vines like it, and so it grows together, and then I don't know if that's where they harvest it or if they harvest it elsewhere, but you can get purslane too, and that's really nice in a smoothie. But there's a lot of food around here. There's also wild fennel.
There's abundance everywhere.
Yeah.
Know what to look for. Evergreens. These trees are around throughout the winter. The Aboriginals use those a lot for food. There's
Yeah,
many.
you're getting like chlorophyll.
Yeah.
You just suck on it.
Well, there's many different ways. I think they've even ground it up, made them in flour and stuff.
Wow.
There's, if you look into their culinary stuff, they use a lot of that because in the winter, what are you going to have? There's not much growing. But evergreens, they have high field strength and they don't go dormant. They stay the same. Powerful plant. You know, it's the Christmas tree where they make the turpentine from. It's an
Yeah.
extract.
Yeah, I have a bottle of that turpentine. I think it came from Georgia.
Good stuff, but I wouldn't drink it.
How is the young woman from Toronto doing? I forget her name already.
Tatiana?
Tatiana, yeah. How's she doing?
Doing great. She keeps us posted. She was on last week.
She was?
She makes posts regularly. Yeah. She's doing really well.
Yeah, she's a trooper, huh?
Yeah. She started gaining weight and she's happy.
She looks great.
It's very few have the understanding of what it takes to completely rebuild your body through fasting.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen in a few fasts. It happens over years. And the more time you spend fasting, the more understanding you'll have. It takes the time it takes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I always say 9 years is really a good start. It's a good start, 9 years of fasting lifestyle.
That's what I was told this week.
When you hit 9 years, you'll go back, man, I'm just beginning to learn. And that's the way it is. It's infinite knowledge that comes through. There's no shortage of knowledge. It's abundant. You just keep going. It's a journey, lifetime journey. There's no destination. You just continuously dwell in that beautiful place of a fasting state.
I had 25 years sobriety on Monday. That's what they said. Good start.
Yeah,
Good start. It's true.
it's the basic truth will ring through all avenues of everything. It's all there. Once people go through experiences enough times, that string of truth is going to present itself. So that's why 9 years, 25 years is a good start. Yeah, no difference. We're saying 9 years to make it even seem short. Yeah, masters, they go for decades, become a master. Why do they have to take decades?
What it takes.
Because it takes what it takes.
Did you guys see the video from Elatom where he's in India and he's visiting the breatharian who's been a breatharian for 70 years?
Oh, that's
Have
from
you
a while ago. Yeah, last year.
It was such a nice video, though. It was so pleasant, because like he's very frail, and he's holding somebody's hand the whole time. And Elatom, like, they don't really get introduced in the video. He's kind of just like bowing to him a little bit, and it was just a wonderful video. And then he's talking to that German guy who's there, and they're doing like dry fasting. I don't know. It's like a festival. I think it's called Prana Festival.
Yeah, that was last year, I believe. He passed away after that.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, if we're all gonna jump the fence.
No, but it's just like I just discovered it. I just discovered it. So it's like
He passed away, when was it? Not long after that. It wasn't long after that. So, yeah.
Is there another video where he's actually meeting him? Because
I don't know if I've seen.
anyway, I just watched that. I thought that was really endearing.
Yeah, I watched the one you're talking about, a little bit of that one, yeah. Yeah, you know, the people call them the fake liars. Okay, whatever. You know, do it, believe whatever you want. You can't live without food. Okay, then that's your truth. Can't live without food. Eat. You know, I just came off 45 days of mostly dries. So yeah, you can't. It's not possible. No, impossible. If,
I wish I could see your eyes better because like your eyes look good, you know, but I can't really see them super well. I wish I could see, you know, all three of you up close.
I posted photos of my eyes a few years ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like the true indication.
My eyes were pretty much black when I started 3 decades ago.
Yeah, like soot.
Very, very dark. Oh yeah. We just keep going. Who cares? It's you have a look what's going on, but I haven't seen anybody with perfect eyes. You know, there's people with stronger constitution and others, and so what? You know, this is the cards we're dealt with for certain reasons, and we try and figure all that out. It doesn't matter. Just work with what you have and continue. Continue. You know, it's what else are you gonna do? Eat. We've been doing that for decades.
Yeah, it's like you know, we get that, right? We get eating. We
Yeah,
already got it.
yeah.
I'm just integrating
Barbara,
plasma pudding and the juice and the plasma pudding and the tea and integrating it into as much fruitarian and like raw vegan as I can do. So I do, you know, I'm not doing the master fast, but I'm integrating a nice part of it into essentially like high fruitarian diet. That's what I've been working on.
Barbara, good evening. I just came from Washington, D.C., looking for dialogues coming from the hearts of love, nature, co-creating a future with each other. That's what we're all about. Olug, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Benga, Olug Benga. Is it true that there's too much potassium in banana and coconut that can injure organs?
What was the question?
Too much potassium in banana and coconut that can injure organs. Any food can injure organs if you eat too much of it. You know, it's nothing to do with potassium. The potassium, and you know, looking in microscopes or whatever, the way they find the elements, they see that it has a higher potassium than other plants or whatever, and so on and so forth. But you got to remember, there's not only potassium in these things. They have a balanced structure, and the structure is what we don't have an understanding about. And if we try to have an understanding through matter state, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Live a fasting lifestyle and forget about all this chemistry stuff, is what we're saying. If you want to go down that route, go for it. There's infinite information about it. All the elements you need and which ones are necessary and so on and so forth. And there's infinite contradictions about all that. I've been down those roads and I have no interest in those roads. That coconut, we've shared a post a story about some people who went on an island and trying to live on just coconuts, and their health deteriorated dramatically. So, what do we say? These high fat diets. Coconuts, people, perfect food. Okay, eat coconut if you believe that. I don't believe there's any perfect food except the nectar of God, which is matterless. That's the perfect food. There's no matter involved. Go down all these roads of eating. There's infinite information out there, and that's not what we're promoting. We're talking about eating less obstructive and putting all the focus on a fasting lifestyle. The eating lifestyle, we're experts. All of us are experts. We know how to do that. And no reason to put any effort in any of that. We have recipes and so on and so forth that, Randall's put together and shared, and you just need basic stuff. Eat fruit for the most part. Keep it simple, least obstructive. When you want to,
Nice homegrown greens today.
yeah, grow your own food, grow your own sprouts, grow your own garden. That's your best bet, is growing your own food.
You can't get any better.
Yeah, the only way you're going to get better is going out in the wild and picking wild foods. That's it. So if you're growing your own, it's right there for you. You can also grow wild plants in your garden, and they will keep coming back, a lot of them, because they're very strong, like a planted nettle.
I got dandelion.
Yeah. So yeah, like, and the herbs that pop up in your area are the ones that you can use, that your body needs. The information is there, it's available, it's presented itself. Use them. Use the plants that grow around you. But growing a garden is a wonderful experience because you're connecting to the soil directly and with the plants. And the more you do it, the more you'll have an understanding of the wonderful spirit these plants really are. They're really highly elevated, way more than humans. They don't need to move around. They just sit there, sending their plough. And they allow themselves to be cut down and be used so they can transfer their information through their spirit to us. So wonderful, wonderful stuff. So Olubenga, I just would recommend that focus on a fasting lifestyle. MFS keeps it very simple. It's very structured, simple roadmap. Anybody can follow it. It's infinite possibilities that you can make it work for you. And away you go. Eat fruit. You don't need to read a book to eat fruit. Eat local, ripe fruit and some leafy greens if you like. It doesn't get any more simple than that. If you are going down routes of challenges and deficiencies, as people call it, then you have to fast more, because obstructions are in the way of the soul doing its work. And the only way we found that works beautifully is being in a fasting state more often than eating, and use the support to get you through the difficult, challenging times, because they will present themselves for the most part. Everybody goes through some challenges, mostly emotional. The physical stuff is pretty easy. Sometimes it can be challenging, but the pain, especially when you got deep pains and stuff. But the emotional stuff is really challenging for some people.
And detox today. The head was all blocked up. I had a headache. It's like, hadn't happened in a while.
Yep.
But then I went and had a colonic, and
Peeled another,
Massive release and no more headache.
peeled another layer.
Oh yeah, deep one. This was a deep one.
It's just amazing. Like,
I mean, since I'm getting back on track since the elbow. This week was really good.
how far does the rabbit hole go? Oh, man.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter exactly. But
Yeah, Steve, your eyes look really good, man.
Thank you.
They like the way they move very quickly and
Yes,
like,
it brings clarity.
yeah, like the way they move like a very young person. Like they move up real quick and and the color of your eyes look really good. I've been trying to like extend my daily dry. I'm doing like,
Did you get any multiple days put together yet?
pardon me?
Did you get any multiple MFS days put together yet?
Multiple
Schedule.
fruitarian days, like what I've been doing 2.5 day cycle on fruit and 1 quart of plasma with 2 tablespoons of plasma pudding. So like I'm just integrating a quart in with a fruitarian. I'm eating a lot of grapefruit and papaya. So I just really like that. Like I look at it as, transitioning. But yeah, like 60-hour cycles, like 2.5 days. And then an eating day really sits well with me. And like I said, the caffeine was
You're going to
very
two and a
nice.
half. You're doing the 2.5, push it to the 3, and then make this second one dry. You're so
Yeah, I
you're so
know.
close. If you're
I know.
doing
I'm gonna
2.5,
get
you're right
ready.
there.
I was thinking, I was gonna ask you guys, like I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing a lot of hybrid days and couple of 60-hour cycles, but I was thinking about like, because now it's getting dry out here again
Yeah.
in like drought land, so they already had a fire up in Northern California, but so it was a very dry rainy season, very light.
Yep.
So everybody's scared.
You're going back into a full, well, you never left it. I don't care
Man,
what.
I
You
can't.
never left the drought. The whole
No.
Southwest is in serious trouble.
Yeah, it's this year in particular was
Yeah.
very light. So my point is that this weather, it's really easy to fast because it's dry and windy and it's sunny and hot, and it's like, and there's no reason, because when I get cold, sometimes I just want to eat, but there's no reason not to do longer fasts. So I was thinking, me and my buddy, we were thinking about doing 9 days master fast, like full master fast. So we're kind of like gearing up for that.
Go for it.
Yeah, I figured that's like a nice round number. But yeah, like the first time I experienced a dry fast, we talked about it already, but it was like I could barely stand it, I was just so focused. It's almost shocking how focused you become,
Drives
And-
you inward.
Yeah, and you know what else? Like it was kind of humorous, but the so the person online, he's a real smart financial guy. He's a young guy, and he advises about cryptocurrency and investing, but he has these videos on quitting caffeine, and he has these videos on exercise and lifestyle and stuff. He's a good guy, and he was talking about doing his caffeine purge. He did a 30-day challenge, no caffeine. And then in the middle of the conversation, he said, he's really bright, so he talks real fast, but he said, yeah, then I did two 2-day dry fasts. And I thought, whoa, this guy did 2-day dry fasts. That's pretty cool, you know? Like it just surprised me that the consciousness on YouTube is actually a lot of people suddenly start talking about things that, you think are very esoteric, but they're not, So anyway, I was impressed by that. So in a roundabout way, listening to advice about cryptocurrency, the guy encouraged me to quit caffeine.
I'm surprised you're still on caffeine.
What? He is?
No, I'm surprised you were still on caffeine.
Yeah, I was. I was always drinking tea and just like kind of like keeping quiet about it.
Still on the grains?
I've gotten way better about just like the quantity of food that I eat, and like the dish, the 1 or 2 dishes that I eat, I've cut way back in the quantity of food generally, and I'm still eating gluten-free grains. I eat essentially like gluten-free oatmeal, and I eat I still eat those bars. So there's a lot of it's non-isolate though. There's no isolate in it. It's pea protein. So I eat that, but I've cut way back in the overall amount of food that I eat on my eating days, like almost half, I would say. So I'm doing better. And I'm just trying to do more and more, cycles of fruitarian. It's nothing to write home about, but I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, the grains are very, very hard on my system.
Really,
Oh, yeah.
My arthritis will flare right up.
really, like
Free or whatever.
I eat wheat.
Some are worse than others, that's for sure.
Yeah, if you get, actually, the organic wheat is not as, I don't have quite the same reaction, put it that way, but I still have it.
Yeah, it's probably because of the way they're grown.
Yeah,
organic.
But-
What?
wheat.
Wheat?
Wheat.
I don't eat wheat at all. Like nothing I eat has wheat in it. I'm also trying to quit brown rice. Like brown rice is a little hard on my system.
Just remember about rice, one thing. They make glue out of it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. That's like Professor
Matter
Eric.
whether it's brown or white, because it's all brown in the beginning.
Do you ever do paper mache in school with wheat, the flour?
Yeah.
Paper turns like cement.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what happens when
In all the joints.
Yeah, because rice is like
Fingers.
it's really hard to like clean the rice cooker sometimes. It's like a rock, it's like
oil, look at oils, how hard it is to wash oils off.
yeah.
Fats and oils, the proteins, fats, oils, and the grains. These things, they are very, very sticky and gluey.
Yeah. I've been eating some prunes too lately, and I really enjoy dried prunes. They help my system, and then I'm I've been using a lot of slippery elm and marshmallow. I really like that. It's like sweet.
Yeah, prunes are good. But they're people have challenges with their bowels, you know, prune juice.
Yeah, it's guaranteed, man.
Not for everybody.
No?
There's people with big challenges we've come across. Even prune juice wouldn't do anything.
Oof, I couldn't imagine. Prune juice is like that's like turning on the fire hose.
Came across people that had one bowel movement a month.
Uh,
That's big problems, big challenges, right? So nothing, no laughing matter.
no.
So I just try and, how can you be living? This is what I keep questioning, but they do. They do. Imagine eating every day, only one bowel movement a month. How can you have an understanding for that? Where does it all go? Oh, crazy stuff.
Yeah, that I can't even comprehend that.
The spiral of the food spiral that we have, because forget about the pyramid, there's no straight lines in the universe. In the universe is, you have the center is the soul, and there's nothingness, and you have all sorts of divine knowledge available. There's no matter in there, it's just through the fields. And then you start moving outwards, where you get into matter state things, you get into, you know, sunshine and air, and then you start getting into the water, and then the heavier, the fruit, which is, you know, gets more heavier, and then you get, you know, so on and so forth. And as you go upwards, and you know, the heaviest obstructive things are that we consume are the fats by far, and the proteins right behind it. And then you have the grains, you know, the beans are somewhere in there, legumes, because they're high protein. But the fats, to me, is the most obstructive. That's what destroyed my health way over the top. I went through that for a learning experience, that's for sure. What the revelation it gave me, you know, I see people doing these high fat diets, and I go, oh my God. And they say they feel great and everything. Okay, keep going. There's a price. It's called cause and effect. There's a price to pay for what you put in your body. You know, whether it takes 5 years, 10 years, whatever, it's gonna happen sooner or later. It's just the way they operate inside the body is, it's unexplainable. If you watch people with a high fat diet, their skins are always kind of oily and shiny, and they think it looks healthy.
Yeah.
You can probably get a rag and wipe them down, or you wring it out. You know, like diesel fuel, when you burn diesel fuel, they think their body, you know, can burn better on these heavy fats. They look at the body as a complete physical chemical factory, or whatever you want to call it, you know, a processing plant. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. We're beings of light, and we work most efficiently off light fields. So when we start gaining that understanding, we get a whole different picture. And that's why some people that go fast for any length of time, and then they start complaining that their senses are too sensitive and all that stuff, it's because they need to do more fasting to gain the understanding. And it's going to take the time it takes. That's all it is. We've put out all the information. It's all available on the website, on our videos, the Facebook page. It's just, you got to do your homework, and you got to start practicing, living it and loving it, and it'll come to you. It comes to everybody if they, you know, put the discipline in long enough, for a few years at least, to start seeing everything happen you know, you're gonna start seeing magic happen much quicker. But to gain some of that understanding takes time. It takes time. You know, we've seen people doing 108 days. They thought they were experts. And some of them went cuckoo. I don't know what they're doing now. It's doing crazy things, back on flesh and so on and so forth. That's going back to the mammon, you know, worshiping the physicality and doing all kinds of stuff. Not judging, just it is what it is anyway. As we can all do what we can do, but from not that I'm any better than anybody else, but the years I've been fasting, it just gets better and better. The levels of energy and the trust and the belief systems just keeps growing on you. There's no doubting that anything and anything is possible through a fasting lifestyle to me. For that to be expressed in everybody else, that's your journey, not mine. We've, you know, guided tens of thousands of people and seen so many miracles, lost count of them, so many. So embrace it, live it, love it, and don't worry about what anybody else says, because when you're sick in bed, they ain't gonna be by your side. You're lucky if somebody shows up. You know, family and friends, you know, as they say, especially when people have mental challenges, nobody's around. Those are the biggest ones. Nobody wants to be around that. It's very, very challenging to be around people with mental challenges. Very challenging. And those are the ones that need the most support. You know, what's been happening in the hospitals in this last, 14, 15 months where we're at has been atrocious. Just had one of my friend's brother, they killed him off on a ventilator in the hospital. 63 years old, wasn't old. Doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be. We have the information to help even these people. But people run in fear, and that's the places they go, because that's the program running. That's all they know. Don't feel good, go to the hospital, go to the doctor. So I don't know how much more simple we can make it. Too simple. We don't have the blackboard full of a mathematical equation to explain it. I don't know.
People don't want to change. That's the bottom line.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I work in a university, man. I'm so tired of that elitist, ivory tower stuff. They're so into their own little intellectual worldview.
Yeah.
And hard sciences.
So insulated bubble there, right?
I mean, some of the stuff they do is cool. Like I work in geology, and there are people who are experts on volcanoes, and it's cool. It's cool to know about what's going on inside a volcano, but there's so much self-importance, and people just revere science so highly.
Yep.
Especially people who are, atheistic, and it's like all they have,
That's their God.
Yeah, it's really hard to stand by and see how these people behave. It's just like there's really have to get away from the university environment. It's crucial. I've seen enough. I've been there for 12 years, going on almost 13. And I went to the same university. I went there, so I know it very well, but it particularly the hard sciences, like mathematics is cool, you know, there's no reason to
That's because
criticize
mathematics is truth.
mathematics. What?
Mathematics is truth. Science is
Yeah, man,
interpretation.
mathematics is super cool, and it's not that the sciences aren't cool, but it's just that these people feel like they have the license to act badly and like, you know, self-possessed. It's just not self-possessed, self, you know, inflated. It's really a drag.
There's tyrants running the planet right now, medical tyrants.
Yeah, and like the scientific community, they totally buy it hook, line, and sinker, you know.
They're part of it. You don't buy it, they're part of it.
Well, that's what I mean. They're supporting, you know, they support it, and it's just like it's just an extension of what they're doing. Like even in like the earth sciences, it's just like this is a pandemic, end of story, you know. Shut down all the buildings. It's like, okay. You know, and then they do all this shit. They spend millions of dollars putting like keyless entry systems on the building. So like people don't have to touch keys, you know, all this money that's being wasted, you know, it's just like out of control.
Yeah, so they can be hacked and broken into even easier.
It's ridiculous how it's like how cowardly people are, you know, these people who make tons of money
No,
and they
and they're
and
not gonna
they
give up their 401.
they have all this power and they make money, but when the shit hits the fan, like there's, I don't know, man. I'm just venting, but
Unto the divine with bigger and better things.
thank you. I mean, I really, I admire people too. It's kind of a,
Yeah.
do admire it.
The sciences, they have a purpose, but it's gone way lunacy with all the control through the corporations and the dollar sign. It's you know, if we remove that, then we can get more stuff based on truth instead of all this fiction crap that they put out. You know, like you're gonna,
Yeah.
it's just whatever.
I've been reading Tolstoy,
I don't know.
Leo Tolstoy, War and Peace, you know, Russian author,
Yep.
great author. And he's wonderful. And like he saw all this stuff coming back in the late 1800s.
There you go.
Like he breaks it down. He wrote a book that blew my mind called The Kingdom of God is Within You. It's nonfiction, right? But it's about nonviolence
Yep.
and about like the Puritans, and but he saw this coming with such accuracy and detail, and he's so articulate. It's just amazing. Um, but overall, it's encouraging. He's a very religious person, and I highly recommend it if you want to read a great book. It's called The Kingdom of Heaven is Within You, or The Kingdom of God. Sometimes it's translated that way, is within you, Book of Matthew, you know. But I started rereading it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there, and it's from people, you know, dedicating themselves, going within. And you can see there's the line of truth running through all these people that have
Yeah.
written from those experiences. It's in all the religions. Well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of the major ones, because there's some crazy extreme ones. But it's the simplicity of finding ourselves is through discipline and, you know, patience, persistence. It's very, very basic things. We don't need to complicate it. And we just got to do them over and over. And the learning starts expressing itself. And the information starts coming through. That's all it is. That's all we're sharing here. There's nothing different than what all the spiritual gurus have been sharing. It's all the information's already been presented many, many times. But who's listening? Few people listen. Few people. People will keep jumping from one thing to another, to another, to another, looking for that magic pill. That in all things, not just the food or health thing, in all things, they want things right away. And in the monetary system, in this system, and that, and everything, everybody wants everything now. No more dedication to anything. Like people, the new generations, they don't even want to work at all. I was already in a different mindset than most people. I never liked the job thing. I like doing things on my own and contracting and so on and so forth. But always doing something, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. But today they just don't want to do anything. They just want to punch some buttons and make millions.
Yeah, I got sucked into the crypto thing last week, man. I dropped a lot of money.
Yeah, well, the crypto thing is the good thing about that I like about crypto is it's everybody is their own bank. Everybody can no, we don't need a middleman. That's the other thing about it. It's controlled by the people, not by middlemen,
Yeah.
not by a structure or anything. And it's all organized through the blockchain where you can't cheat anybody else. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
I think if
Blockchain, not the crypto. The crypto is bullshit. The blockchain is fine, but the crypto is, go ahead, trust that and knock yourself out.
No, but what's happening is that the blockchain technology is being supported by the coins. So there are some of them, like for example, there are two, Cardano and Polkadot, and they're actually being adopted by like Switzerland's national government and the banking system, and like countries in Africa are adopting some of the technology, so you can support the technologies and invest in them.
yeah.
So there's real stuff going on.
Yeah, there's only a few good real ones. All the rest are junk.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Oh, junk.
But it's interesting, you know, and in the short term, people make money.
Oh yeah.
But it's a type of gambling. No, there's no doubt. But it's, I don't know, like,
Oh, there's the biggest gamble. They're freaking robbing the value of it every day. And people still use it. The dollars we use.
yeah,
There's, it's huge gamble to keep money, keep your value in that paper. You know what I mean? It's being devalued all the time.
yeah. It's like mythological, like money is just mythological. Like it doesn't really, you know,
Yeah.
even gold is really, I mean, if you think about it, what value does gold, I mean, gold has some industrial value. Huh?
Silver has more industrial value.
Silver is the highest. Silver has always been more.
I don't know. They're still trading crazy.
Yeah, I have silver, but like silver historically has always been actually more highly revered than gold, if you can believe it.
And for money, for currency?
Yeah, like it just had, it's been used for currency more. Silver has, and like now it's even more because of the industrial value that it has. You know, gold, platinum,
it's a store of value for sure.
a store of value. Yeah.
Here's the easy way to think about. In the 50s, you could buy a gallon of gas for a quarter.
Yeah.
That same quarter today will still buy you that same gallon of gas with the silver content in it at the current dollar value of silver. So
Yeah.
it's a store of value. It's not money. It's a store of value. based against these fiat currency.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had 90%, they were 90% silver back then and 10% nickel, I believe.
Up until 64.
Yeah, until 64, Kennedy was assassinated in
That's exactly right.
63. In
He
60,
wanted, he was not gonna let them do what they were gonna, what they wanted to do.
yeah, Kennedy had a heart, and then
No, they wanted to go, they wanted him to take it, they wanted him to take us off the gold system. That's why he's dead.
oh,
They wanted,
They-
no, he would not, no, he wouldn't allow it. Would not allow it. That's what killed him. That's why he was killed. In comes Nixon.
yeah, I don't doubt that
In
at
comes
all.
Nixon 10 years later and bye-bye.
But yeah, that's interesting. The thing about his assassination was that he was assassinated November 22, 1963.
Yep.
And then they the next, that same winter, like in January or February, they started minting the Kennedy $50 in 90% silver. And then that was it. 64 was the last year, and everybody scapped those up because they were collector's items because he was such a popular president. And so now, like, you can buy them. So I really enjoy buying those, the Kennedy $50.
Yeah. What's the premium on them?
I know you get
I
ripped
got
off.
silver about 25 or 20. I don't remember what it was.
It's like
I
silver's
looked at it about a week.
silver's like 27 or 28.
But you gotta pay a probably a $20-$30 premium. Go try to buy it.
No, well, I think what you're calling premium, I think that for each ounce, it's about $5
Go
they
try to buy it. The premiums are
hit you.
the premiums are around $15 and $20 over here. You can't find it. First of all, nobody's gonna sell it. So you have to find a seller first. Because nobody's stupid enough to sell it now. All the places are they don't have it. There's no stock.
I know they,
Nobody sell it. So if they are selling, they're getting a $20 and $30 premium. They're jacking the price up almost double.
I don't exactly know what you mean by premium, but there's something called
So
the
if I'm a coin dealer, if I'm a dealer in precious metals, and you want to come and I'm going to sell it to you to $27 an ounce, which is the spot price. But I'm going to charge you a premium on that for handling, and it's going to cost you another $20, $25 per ounce. And if you don't like it, take a hike because the next guy will take it. It's that simple. That's what the premium is. The dealer's premium.
yeah, but okay, well, anyway,
Every precious metal house.
I thought
charges a premium.
see, like on eBay, if you buy an ounce of silver and the spot price is 27,
Mhm.
then typically you can't touch it for at least unless you pay at least like 32. So it's like $5 they tack on right at the start. And now, since COVID,
That
it's
was a
even
long time
higher.
ago. That $5 premium was a long time ago. When I bought, the last time I bought was, I don't know, 7 years ago. It was a $3 premium then.
I'm just looking at like,
Crazy times, they will collapse everything. That's the
And
goal.
when that comes, when the supply chains finally break down, that ain't gonna do you shit because you can't eat it.
Yep.
So everybody's investing, they're investing in such the wrong stuff.
Yep.
That's all right.
Or all these metals, what are you gonna do with them?
Nothing. Plus, they're trading at such an exorbitant rate to begin with. You know, in relation to each other, silver's the best buy because I think
The relationship.
it's 17-1. And I think they were, the last time that I looked, again, this is a while back, it was trading at 70 or 75-1. In other words, there's 17 times more silver in the earth than there is gold. So that ratio should always, no matter where in the market you're looking, should always be the 17-1. And silver was trading at 70-1, or gold, whichever one it was.
Way
Gold
low.
was trading 70-1 to silver.
Yeah.
So silver was always the better buy in the last cycle.
We will
You
see.
know what's funny, Steve, is that I'm looking and like I think we're both right because the disparity between an ounce of silver from one seller to the other is huge right now.
Yeah.
Like one seller is selling an ounce, American Eagle ounce for 31 free shipping, and then another seller is selling it for $42.99 free shipping. So that's an $11 disparity.
31 has a little fine print there somewhere.
Yeah, and then there's another one for 45. So you're right. It's like it's kind of going haywire
Can't touch it.
just at the quick glance.
Nobody's selling. Don't forget, nobody is selling.
Yeah, maybe it's time to
It's
sell.
stupid to sell it.
It's time to sell, man.
That's just
I
how-
like
how
silver.
the market works.
I really,
And plus, they manipulate it every night. They manipulate it anyway. If you
I
want to
know, yeah.
follow it,
Yeah, it's not.
manipulated hugely because it's trying to jack every time because it's the hedge against the inflation that they've created, gold and silver. If you look every freaking night, the plunge protection team comes out and buys it up. Follow the market on it. You see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I haven't really researched
They
it.
hammer the price back down. They cannot have it come up. They cannot have it come up because inflation will freaking skyrocket. So they come in and they make somebody somewhere in the world always makes a big purchase and it keeps the price artificially down.
Yeah, like William Buffett.
Not allow it to go, but they're losing control on it. They have been, so it's getting much more difficult each day to have that outcome the same.
Yeah, I know, because like especially since COVID, people are just been buying it up. And like Warren Buffett, I think he has $400 million worth of silver, but he used it to back solar power. So there's this whole thing where you can like invest in silver and support solar power. So that's kind of cool.
Well, that's a fallacy too, because you can't produce the equipment on solar power. You can only produce it on fossil fuels. So this green energy is a fallacy. You can't do it at scale. It can't be done at scale to make a difference. Same with the cars. The cars are not green because they run on electricity, which is produced 95% down here by coal.
Yeah, green.
Nothing green. And again, you cannot produce the car on, you need fossil fuel. It's the only, cost effectively. It just can't be done.
Man, what a downer.
No, it is what it is.
Looks
Show you
good
how
on the
much- how they're
surface.
lying, how the governments are lying about all this shit. It's all about the same power grab and same money grab. It's always been.
It all looks wonderful on the surface. When you do your research, you go, it's all a scam. Everything's a scam.
Everything.
Where's the money? Follow the money. That's all
I
it
just
is.
I
And
always
then you
like,
end up, and then when you follow the money, it rides you right back to Israel and freaking Palestine. Every time. Or wherever the conflict of the day is. Because that's the distraction they need to keep the facade going. And they don't give a shit who dies.
Divide and conquer, killing children, women and children is freaking insanity. Diabolical, I don't know what word you can use, I don't know anymore.
And all the governments are in collusion on
Oh, yeah.
it. Every single one of them.
Yep. Ireland was boycotted Israel. And another country, I think it was, I don't remember.
Yeah, but you know, it's gonna be the same thing as it always is. In another news cycle or two, it's done and over and out of the news cycle. And it's over and that's it, it's forgotten about. Just like it's always been.
Yeah, they
And
just,
the next crisis of the day, I'll pick up.
we do it over and over and over again. Problem, reaction, solution. Divide and conquer.
Until we stop it.
It's it. They didn't come up with anything new. It's the same thing.
The same playbook, because it works. So, what's that say about humanity?
Not much. Easily be duped. Over and over, same thing.
And especially today with the emasculation of the males.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Crazy times.
Mhm.
The light will prevail. That's all we need to focus on because matter state stuff, good luck. We're gonna keep going around and around circles. You don't connect to divine source, we're gonna keep getting the same thing we've always gotten.
Absolutely.
So time to go in within the heart,
Start fasting. Fasting shuts it off.
start fasting, start being disciplined in your fasting lifestyle. Keep it very simple, very focused. When they shut everything
It's
out.
really nice to have some focus back after 12 weeks or 11 weeks, I'll tell you.
But a difference, eh?
Whew,
You were getting kind of irate.
a little bit.
What happened?
Go back on your videos.
I fractured my elbow in March.
Matter. I'm just, we all do, we all go through that. It's all part of it.
Just threw me off. That's all.
Ooh, that's painful,
course.
man.
We all go through it. So, you know, when you've been doing it such a long time, you just know, just give the guys a little bit of leeway, you know, they're just going through something, no big deal. But when you get emotional all about it, you know, people kill through emotions. They go cuckoo.
Yeah, when I was 24, I was in the library of all places on the UC Berkeley campus, and I got in a fight. Like these kids, they were taunting me. To make a long story short, they were just taunting me, like these city kids. And so we started fighting, like really bad fight. And these two they were younger than I was, and I was like very strong at the time. And so I started beating them up, and then I just like let go of one of them and I ran down the stairs, and they chased after me, and they picked up a garbage can, a metal garbage can, and they threw it at me. And I put my elbow like this, and I broke my elbow. So Steve, I know how it feels.
Ooh, wow.
It was like so painful, man. It was like this, you know, those like those really heavy green garbage cans that have like a heavy steel bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you break it, Steve? Were you farming?
Work.
Work?
Stupidity, to be honest with you.
In a metal shop? In a metal shop?
Yeah, on a lathe.
On a lathe? Oh,
Yeah.
what happened?
No, I had a bar sticking out the back of the lathe, and I turned the spindle on. I thought I was turning on 150 RPM, and I kind of put in 1500. And it whipped.
Oh,
I grabbed it as it was whipping, and it just beat the shit out of me.
you were reading a digital display of the speed?
That's, you know, no, I wasn't reading anything. I just, you know, it's a little arrogance. It's arrogant, really. You know, you just do it because it's unconscious, and you just punch the wrong number in.
Oh man.
Yep, I've seen.
I mean, you do it for, like anything you do for 30 or 40 years. You don't think about what you're doing, you come to a point where you don't, it takes very little thought process to do what you're doing.
Did you, what kind of way did you heal it? Was it like, did you just have it set? Did somebody set it for you?
I had to go have an operation.
You had a surgery.
Yeah, cut it open, and clean it out and sew it up and
Yeah.
kept it immobile for a period of time.
Yeah.
A break, just a fracture, which are, from what I understand, are more difficult to heal than the break.
Mm-hmm. Generally.
I can't get it straight. And if I try, I still get, it's not pain, but I don't know, it's like right there. It's not pain, but like something stretching, like something's tight, like something's tight. That's as good as it's probably gonna get. Maybe I get a little better, I don't know. I started with a personal trainer a couple of weeks ago, so she's helping me out. Beating the shit out of me. She's beating the shit out of me.
It will open up, Steve. You just got to give it time.
Yeah. It's not bad though. I can do everything I want, so I don't care. It's not stopping me from doing anything.
I had 2 different motorcycle crashes, and I screwed up one shoulder in one and the other one in the other. I had, with one of the shoulders was, I can't remember even which one anymore, but I opened it all up through, fasting, raw food and yoga, and opened them right up.
Yoga's was challenging.
It took time.
She changed the way she's doing too, so she's pushing, which is good. I love physically pushing myself in exercise. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. I used to
The
be,
girl in the gym is really pushing me big time. So I go twice a week with her, 45-minute sessions.
yeah, if nothing like physical exertion, you know what I mean? Makes you, everybody feel better.
Yeah.
If you're not in pain.
Yes, that's especially after I got sober, I needed it. I needed the exercise to channel that energy.
Yeah.
And the anger and the rage and all that went with it, went out.
Yeah.
So I've been in the gym.
Eric, we have to have a vent. Some of us have different ways of venting things. And,
So I took, that got put on the back burner. I couldn't do it. So all that shit starts building up. There's no release mechanism.
yeah, hard physical exercise is a great vent. Also, working in the garden, doing hard physical exercise, another great vent.
Bad time of year for the garden.
The soil, yeah. There's many ways. Some of us may have to scream, whatever. There's many ways. People vent. Or
You don't realize it when you're in it, though. That's the part of it.
Yeah.
Realize it.
But it's, if we take everything with a grain of salt and say, okay, we're just venting some hot air or whatever, all's well, no big deal. But people want to take things personally, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
So we're all different, and we're all learning.
Yeah. You're late.
Yeah, let's have a prayer and we'll close her up.
Yeah, I gotta get up early again.
Thanks, guys.
All right, John, take it easy.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you
Take
for
it easy,
joining.
okay?
You too.
I'll talk to you soon.
Ciao. Let's send prayers over to the Middle East, to the people who are being slaughtered for no reason, especially the children. There's no words, just shouldn't plaf to all the people, and let's elevate all these warmonger souls to peace, balance, correct conduct, that they may move in that direction. And hopefully we as humanity are learning our lessons finally, so that this nonsense will stop once and for all. Amen to that. And that's all I got. I don't know. I don't have any words.
There are none.
Thank you so much, Steve. Glad you're on track again.
Oh, bye.
Take it easy. Ciao.
See you. Bye, Rana.